Today I am going to talk to you guys about the subtle art of Facebook marketing. Excuse me. I am going to focus on Facebook marketing mainly because that's where, the whole marketing span when you're a writer or any other kind of creative trying to sell and make sales and get people to know you and all that is so wide. You can do it in so many different social platforms, but I kind of feel that what I'm going to talk to you guys about today will be something that you can do regardless of the platform. So let's get started on the subtle art of Facebook marketing. Well, first of all, and I have notes over here, so if you see me looking over here, my monitor's right here. Maybe we could show you guys. There we go. So if I'm looking over there, now you guys know why I keep looking over. Okay, well, in order to get your books in people's sites and stand out, first you have to get noticed. And right now there's so much on social media and so much going on that standing out and making a mark and getting people to start talking about your writing, you either have to do something incredulous that gets you on the news, or you have to do it in a subtle way where people are getting to know you, finding out things about you, finding commonalities between you guys. And once they feel that, then they will be like, oh, awesome, I want to get to know that person, I want to buy her books. You will learn that because people get to know you, because they're expecting certain things from you, then they will turn around and want to buy your books. They want to know more about your stories. They're going to be more interested and invested. All right, so let's start with the publishing industry. Right now, whether you're indie or traditionally published or a hybrid, which hybrid means you're both indie, have some books that you publish yourself and some through a publishing company. Either way, the way to get known is through advertising, which is very expensive, or through Facebook and any other social media. That's how you're going to reach more people at once. There are other ways. Before the pandemic, there was, going out and doing signings, going to, reader events, that kind of stuff. And that's good. You get to know a group of readers who hopefully get to know you, get to know your books, and then start telling more people. Unfortunately, right now, we can't really do those things, but social media is very active because more people are at home. There's fewer places that you can go to, so people are like, oh yeah, let's get out and get on social media and virtually visit places and virtually talk to people. So that makes it really cool because we kind of have a sort of captive audience, but the audience is pretty wide, while at the same time, because of certain algorithms, we only see a few of the people. All right, so I remember when I first started publishing, and it was back in 2016? No, maybe it's 2012. I don't know. It was the gold rush. I missed it because I'm always on the wrong bus. If there's a line here and everybody's going to get $1 million, but there's a line over here, everybody gets an ice cream cone, guess which one I'll be in. I'll be in the ice cream cone line because that's me. I'm like, ooh, ice cream. But they're going to give you $1 million over here. Yep, but I get ice cream over here. So that anyway, all that to say that I missed the gold rush, which was you put up a book for sale and instantly you were making hand over fist money. I instead chose to go with, I was chicken and scared to do indie publishing, so I went with a small publishing house, which turned out to be a complete and utter disaster, and I lost about 2 years, 2.5, 3 years because of the bad mistake. I was writing a lot slower. I was just learning my craft. So that part of it I don't regret. I do regret that I was too slow on the jump to get into the publishing. But back then you didn't have to do that much. You would publish your books, get them edited, put them up, and you were making money. People were buying it. The readers were coming out. People were excited about them. There weren't as many writers to compete with, and it was a lot easier. So along with the changing of the time, more writers coming on board, more publishing happening, more books being available, and more choices for the reader, that is when we had to all adapt to certain things and certain ways to get our books in front of readers and continue to make good sales. One of the ways, and very effective way, is social media, and it still is, but you have to kind of figure out what works for you. First of all, subtle ways always work a lot better than being pushy. Don't get on social media and put up your book covers with blurbs and over and over and over, and buy links and maybe then put up a picture of, I don't know, a cat, and then with nothing but say, hey, the cute cat, or a cute cat video, or everybody loves those, and they'll click on that. But then you'll notice every time you put a book up, then maybe the cat video gets 20 likes, and then you put up your book and your book blurb and your buy links, and you get 1 like. There's a reason for that. People are starting to get fatigued of seeing that over and over. So instead, try to do it in a more subtle way. One of the things that I really suggest right away is to start a reader group, and the way to do it is to put it on your regular Facebook page and your Facebook profile, whether you have one or both. They both work the same. A profile is the one where it's kind of like your own personal page. It has your author name though, and that's where you post everything. And then the page is the one where people like. They don't really friend you there, they just like it, and you get a certain amount of likes and followers. So you can work on either one of them. Whatever I'm saying today, you can use on either your page or your profile. So anyway, start by asking people, hey, I'm starting a reader team. Join my reader team and I'll give you the first in series book free. Or join my reader team, and at the end of every week, I'm going to do a drawing for a $5 Amazon gift card. Simple things like that. Or you can just say there's going to be content in there, like deleted scenes or chapters, and plus, you guys will help me name characters. You don't always have to spend money. My readers love to help me name characters. They have come up with the most amazing town names. When I was writing mainly Western, they helped me so much to name towns and areas and rivers and creeks, and the barber and the barkeep and all those. They help me name all those people, and it always turns out to be so much fun. Horses, they've helped me name horses. So just say, come on there, we're gonna have so much fun together. You guys are gonna help me write my books. We are gonna work on, this will be a project where I really would like your help with. People want to help, and if you ask them to come on and I really need your help, if I could get just 10 readers. I started my reader group with 15, I think, and for a long time I kind of capped it at like 25. I still don't have a huge reader group. I think right now it's about 300, and I'm comfortable with that number. I don't think I could handle a huge reader team because I like to get to know them. Another thing that you can do also is to join reader groups based on your genre. So for Westerns, I belong to Pioneer Hearts and Western Sizzle, and then there's also historical romance groups. If you're Kindle Unlimited, there's Kindle Unlimited groups. There is Scottish Highlander groups, Regency historical romance groups, all those kind of things. If you're an urban fantasy writer or paranormal, huge reader groups. So join those groups as an author if you can. Find out what the rules are about posting. Do not get in there and make your first post book cover and a blurb and links. Don't do that. Come on there and start getting to know people. This is a marathon. It's going to take you a while. Let's say, give yourself 3 months. Give yourself 3 months to start getting to knowing people, and by doing these things, and then come back and tell me what happens. Mark it on your calendar. So this video is going up on July the 12th. So come back and tell me on September 12th if it works. So what I do in these reader groups, well, let's say, I'll give you an example. Some of the groups have theme days. One of them has like a Manly Monday, or some of them have a Wicked Wednesday. Some of them have Freebie Fridays. So those are great ones to jump in. The ones with no themes, I love those, because then I can kind of do the same things that I told you in the reader group. I ask them to help me name a heroine. I'll put up a picture of a specific, I found this really cute picture of this girl dressed in period costume. She was dressed kind of like medieval, and she was petting a deer, a fawn. And so I put that picture up and I said, what do you think, what kind of story would this be about? Why is she out there? And people just love to come up with scenarios and what exactly, I had one lady that wrote like 4 paragraphs. I'm like, lady, you need to be a writer, because she just wrote a short story in the comments. things like that, you know. So then you come back and make sure that you comment on each one. What a great idea. Oh yeah, I'm going to use this. Is it okay if I use this? And, you know, keep a notebook. I have my list notebook. Keep a notebook with you and write down all these things, because I always write down my things in my list notebook and write down, you know, I print a copy of the picture and then write down comments and notes and readers who help you with this, that you thought, oh, okay, this person came up really with a really good idea. So you can come back later and maybe come back to the group and said, remember when you named this fawn or whatever? She's in a story now. So, you know, people, you're getting to know the people as a person, not as I'm a writer up here and you're a reader and I'm just going to show you what I do. Yeah, that doesn't go over as well as we would hope it did. Then another thing I like to do is to get on there on the theme days and put up pictures, but I always try to ask a question. Like I had one where it's Manly Monday, so I decided, well, I'm going to use this guy. I picked up a guy with a hairy chest and I said, what do you guys think? Yay or nay? Would you, if you met him, would you ask him to shave his chest, or would you do you like, you know, the hair on there and stuff like that? And people were coming back and telling, you know, how they felt about it. So always do a call to action, because that way your posts will have more interaction and people will start seeing that, oh, Hildie McQueen, she always asks the most interesting questions, or she has these posts that make me, you know, think or consider things. So then I know that one and two of the groups that I believe, well, there's more, but I know specifically two groups, they only allow marketing once a week. Some people allow marketing only when your book releases or when it comes up for pre-order. They do allow marketing every once in a while for sales. I always like to do one of my first posts when I'm new in a group to be a sale or a free book. I have a first in series for this series of mine called The Shades of Blue. Big Sky Blue. The first book in the series is a novella. It's novella length. I think it's like 30,000 words and it's free. So I always like to do that. Put up my free book first so that people will know that I'm giving them something and they'll get to know my writing. It's okay to do a standalone, but I would try to do one that is the beginning of a series, the first one. If you don't want to put the book on perma-free, put it up on BookFunnel or Prolific Works, where you can give it a certain amount away. And that's another thing people love. Say, hey, I'm giving away 20 copies of this book. Grab it while you can, first 20, and after that, sorry, they're gone. So that's one way to do subtle marketing and give away the first book in a series to just 20 people. Technically, you can be saying, well, I sell those books for $2.99, $3.99, so I'm losing X amount of dollars. Well, no, not really, because those 20 people would probably not have bought it. So yeah, you're giving away, but in hopes of that it's so good that it'll lead to the readers reading the rest. So that's one thing you can do, is put the first one up on Prolific Books or BookFunnel as free and give away a specific amount of copies. When I give away the one that's perma-free on Amazon, I have no way of tracking who got it, so that kind of is annoying. So but I do notice that when I do that, I get a read-through, and that's where you make your money. It's on the read-through that you wouldn't have done otherwise. So it's marketing. You are marketing your books, you are marketing yourself, but you're kind of disguising it by giving them something. So they're getting a free book. Cool, free book. But you're at the end of your free book, right? That's before you say, don't say the end, but at the very last sentence right there, you're going to say, now get to know so-and-so, get to know John, the guy's brother, and put the link and let them, without thinking, continue on to read the rest of your series. So that's one idea. Also, that's something that you can do on your author page or your profile page on Facebook too. Say, I'm feeling generous today. I'm going to give away 25 copies of, Go with the Flow. That's a book title. Feel free to use it. First 25 get it, and good luck. People will jump on there and get it, and comment below if you got one. The reason you want people to comment below, I always say comment below or ask a call to action to ask them to tell me something, because the more people comment and the more you go in and the more people for some reason see it then. So that's why you want to do call to actions. That's why you want to, hi sweetie, come here. Sorry. So this is the little dog I'm dog sitting for my daughter. He has an underbite. All right. So where was I? All right. And then, so make sure you get interaction that way. Another thing that I do on my own personal profile and page is I do themes. A lot of people talk about themes, and I have been doing them, for years now. I did one I want to say about 4 years ago, where I do the Hump Day, and that's Wednesday. So every Wednesday I search for hunks on Tumblr or Pinterest, wherever, and find a shirtless guy or somebody that's in bed, that's covered up, so you don't get flagged by Facebook, and I'll put up Hump Day. And I always ask a question like, if it's a guy at the beach, I'll say, wow, look at those waves, or something like that, and then people are like, what waves, what beach, And so people like, excuse me, gotta drink some water. Okay. So then people will get on there and make all kinds of comments. I was a little bit kind of surprised at how much it took off. And my favorite two stories about it is, the first one was, I was at church one day. We were having it was like a little get together, and this was a few years ago, and I was sitting there, my pastor's wife comes up and she goes, oh, hey, how you doing? I'm like, good, how you been feeling? She goes, oh, it's kind of been a really hectic week. Finally got to catch my breath on Wednesday, and I just went to your page because I knew I could get some pretty scenery. And I'm like, pretty scenery? And she's like, yep, I look forward to Wednesdays. And then she kind of winked, and I was like, oh my gosh. I just started laughing. I said, you're welcome. So that's one thing. Another time, I found this guy, and I'm sorry, but I thought he was so sexy. He had a shirt on and it was open, and you could see his abs and everything, and I'm just like, oh man, he's so cute. I'm putting him up this week for Hump Day. And I did, and I got 2 DMs complaints because he had a shirt on. They're like, I thought our hunks are supposed to be shirtless. I was like, sorry, I'll put up 2 this week, so you guys can have a shirtless one. And of course they were all happy. But yeah, people really get into themes. Now, something that's a little extreme, and I know some people will be like, oh, that's a lot, but every single morning when I sit down here, see this corner back here, this is ever changing. This is always ever changing. I have tons of things that I switch out. I have candles. I have there's a little crown back there. I have a cute pencil thing. I have other plant things. I have, all kinds of cute things. And this is always changing, because every morning I put my cup of tea or whatever I'm drinking right here, and I snap a picture, and every morning I say good morning. And I usually ask a question like, are you doing something fun today? Is there something unexpected happening today? Or how do you feel? What's the weather like where you're at? You can ask about, is your pet near you? Anything. So every morning I do that. And I think I'm surprised. Every morning I get like 25 to 50 people coming back and saying good morning and answering the questions. Sometimes more, sometimes less, but I do it every single morning. And it takes me, 2 minutes. Snap, take the picture, and I upload it on my phone right then and there, and it's done. So that's another way. So people are getting to know things about me. They know what I drink in the mornings. Sometimes they'll see pictures that are up here. Here's a picture of me and hubby that sometimes I will include. I kind of zero it in on a small space so I can add or delete things. And so that gets people seeing my page. And you're saying, well, why are you doing through all that trouble? Because the more people that come and interact with you, they're getting to know a little bit about you. Not exactly sure how to word the next thing. What exactly do you want to share? I share a lot about my pets. I have little dogs, and I love them to death, so it gets me. A lot of people that have found other dogs that look like mine, or they are dog lovers as well, that come and can relate to me that way. I post a lot about places that I go. Well, when I used to go places. I love doing travel posts on Sunday. Sometimes when I'm on Sunday, I just want to go virtually somewhere, especially right now that we can't travel. I had to cancel my trip to Paris. I had 3 trips scheduled that I hated canceling. 2 to Mexico and 1 to Paris. and I am so sick about it. So virtually, I'll go on a vacation on Sundays and bring people along with me, and it's always a lot of fun. So that works. That kind of stuff that gets people interacting. They're getting to know more things about you. Like, wow, she likes traveling. She likes purses. I love purses. She loves tea. She likes pretty things. And, you know, and I'm addicted to a lot of like pink things and notebooks and paper products, as you guys well know. So when I do that kind of stuff, people who can relate to me in those ways, they want to know me. So then when I have a book up for sale, a release or something, they feel like they're helping me out, which they are. Some people have gotten into reading my books that way and now are, you know, fans of my writing. I can and buy every single one of my books. But other people that maybe haven't read my books, when I say, hey, you know, this is a new book, and this is, I never say, I try not to, I do sometimes. I never say, you know, buy this book because this is this and this, and then the hero fell off a horse and the heroine saved him, and that's why you should read it. You know, something like that. More or less, I will share snippets. Pippa, stop. So what I do is I will go down there and say, okay, this, when I started writing this book, I thought it was going to be about a guy who was, you know, wronged by his family, and so he holds a grudge towards them, and it stops him from getting to know people, or allowing them people to come close to him. And yes, that is who he was. But then as the story continued, I came to find out that he's really an a-hole, that people just don't like him because there's something about him that, besides he's using that as a crutch, and he needs to get over himself. And when I found that out, I was a bit better able to write this guy, so that even though he's not that nice, you kind of start seeing him come around, and then you feel you're glad to come with him as he develops into a good guy. I'm sorry. My youngest dog is a bully, and she's bullying the old guy. Right, and so then the readers are like, wow, okay, I want to read this story, not only because I know her and I like what she writes, but this sounds really interesting. How did this guy go from being a jerk who she thought was, you know, was going to be a wounded hero, to becoming this guy that you don't really like, but then as he's coming around and changing, you want to go to the end and find out exactly how does he end up, and how does he discover that, you know, he's not a good guy and changes. So that's how I market my books. And then I will either put a picture of the hero that I'm talking about at this point and say, hey, you know, I hope you decide to read this book and tell me what you think. Okay, I'm trying to finish this video, so I have to hold this one because she's a bully. She's also the youngest and the smallest, but she is a mean little bully, aren't you? All right, so where was I? Oh yes, I was saying, yeah, I put up either a picture of the hero or whatever subject I'm talking about. Sometimes I'll talk about, you know, this town that I'm writing about. The more I wrote about it, I decided this sounds like a real place that I would like to go to. So I've started to do some research, and I found this town in Scotland, and I am shocked to find out that some of the actual locations and locales are exactly the way I envisioned it and how I wrote it in this book. So this is the town. What do you guys think? Would you want to go to this town? Or, you know, and then I would put, you know, and this is the book. And while writing blank, 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 I discovered the town that I am describing really exists. And then put the link to your book. Of course, put a picture up of the town. So are you guys understanding what I'm saying? It's like, I want to read that book. Of course, by the time I have done these things over time, as I'm writing the book or as the book is about to release, then when release day comes, once again you say, well, so-and-so is finally out. This is the book with the heroes that went through the big change, and the town that I thought I made up that came to be real. And then you can list your blurb and buy it on Amazon, or put the, what is that called? The link that has all the books to read link, whatever. And that's, by then people have gotten to know your book, your characters, and want to read the book without you screaming, buy my book. And I think you'll get a few more sales then if you do it that way. Now, if I would listen to myself and do it that way every time, I'd do a lot better. I try to. All right, let me add a few little things. I don't know if it still happens, but it used to be word posts get more likes and attention than words and pictures. I haven't studied that lately. It used to be that way, but now I'm not exactly sure if it still is that way. I think it might be, but I do word only sometimes, but I'm a picture person, so I want to see pictures. If I see a picture of a Scottish village, I am more prone to look and read to see what is being said than if I see a book cover, because we've become sort of fatigued with seeing so many book covers and the graphic artists and stuff like that. So sometimes I'll use the picture of a hero or heroine or the muse for me anyway, or blow up the cover so that it's only showing a certain part of it, something like that. So yeah, I haven't tested it to know whether or not pictures and do better than words only anymore. It used to be that way. Another thing that I wanted to just touch on briefly is when I said about themes, I will have a list down below of different themes that you guys can think of. I quickly came up with a list. So I have, like, for Mondays, I have Manly Monday if you do, sexy romance, or if you do sweet romance and have, pictures of sweet guys, pictures of guys reading a book or a guy holding a flower or something like that. Motivational Monday, where you put up motivational quotes. There's also Coffee Monday. If you drink coffee, please do this. Different coffees that you like, different coffee cups. You don't have to have a collection of coffee cups like I do. You can go to Pinterest and find some amazing coffee pictures. On Tuesdays, there's Teaser Tuesdays, where you share a teaser of your book. There's also Show and Tell Tuesday, where you show and tell a different part of your life. Like today for Show and Tell, I am showing you guys my collection of pink blouses. So I have like a collection of pink blouses because when I go out and when I go to conventions, I like to wear pink while I'm there. Or today for Show and Tell Tuesday, I'm going to show you guys my garden, the certain plant, things like that, depending on what you do. And try to keep it to around the same thing. You can go around your house, or you can do, since we can't go very far right now, you can do different aspects of your life. Tawdry Tuesday. If you write sexy, sensual, then of course you can research different things that happen, different ways of courting that were a little bit naughty that would happen at whatever time. Or if you're in the contemporary time, you can really have fun with that one. On Wicked Wednesdays, for those that write PNR and fantasy, witches and warlocks and that kind of stuff. Midway Wednesday, middle of the book. Middle of the book is fun. You open your book to the middle and say, this is in the middle of this story for whatever book title it is. Tell them what happens right in the very middle of your book. The hero falls off. I'm always having heroes fall off horses. So the hero falls off the horse and he can't move his legs. At this point, we don't know what's going to happen next. There's also, of course, Hump Day Motivation, Hump Day, Spread 'em Wide Wednesday, which is where also it's the same thing. You open a book or a planner or whatever it is and show whatever it is that in between those two pages. Thursdays are Thirsty Thursday. It would be fun because you could either use it to show specific drinks that people like to drink, or you can use it to show women or men that are thirsty after someone. Also, Thankful Thursday is a really good one for inspirational or sweet romance writers, because you guys can just use it as a, what are you thankful for? People like to say, I would say, what are you thankful for today besides your family and your health? Is there something specific that you're very thankful for? People like to talk about that. Fridays are a little bit, like I said, I mentioned a little bit about Freebie Fridays. Some authors I know share free books from other authors, which is really kind, and it's a good way to give back to the author community. Plus, you have, more people coming on Fridays to your page to see what book you're featuring, and then they might want to buy and stick around and look at other posts that you put on there. Also, Finally Friday. It's Finally Friday. Let's talk about what we have planned for the weekend, kind of thing. There's Freaky Friday. I already said Freaky Friday. Finally Friday. There's First Friday. What is the first time? Do you remember the first time you kissed a boy? Do you remember the first time you roller skated? Do you remember the first time you rode a bike? The first time you did this or that? So First Friday is a lot of fun. Saturdays and Sundays, I tend to stay away from any kind of themes. Of course, some people have really good Saturday and Sunday themes. Sundays, like I said, if I'm in the mood and I want to do some virtual traveling, I will go to different cafes around the world. One time I did pink places around the world or flowery places around the world. What else did I do? I did, you could do bookstores around the world, or, I did castles. That's right, I did castles. So I want to do, there's one thing that like ice cream shops or, lakes or different villages around the world. You can do different things. Virtual traveling is fun. Gardening posts are always fun for the weekends, and things to do with recreation, things like that. People love to come and see that. Try to tie it back to your books if you can, but you don't always have to, because like I said, they're getting to know you and what you like, and when they get to know you and they like you and they find out a little bit more about you, they will want to read your books and spend more time in your worlds. So I hope that this gave you guys some amazing ideas. I'm looking over here to make sure I didn't miss anything. I will also put a list down below of different ideas of things to post, because I know sometimes you're like sitting there going, I don't know what to post. One good way is to open your planner or get yourself a calendar. If you don't have one, I can't believe it, print one out. Go to Google, say printable month calendar, print out the calendar, pick 2 or 3 days a week and write down what you're going to post. And that way you can search for the things that you want to post and have them up. New releases, sales, excerpts, antidotes, pets, gardening, habits, road trips, beverages of choice, people. There's so many things that you can reach out and share that people will be so excited that, oh my God, I can't believe we have that in common. Or I never considered that. Now that I've been following her, all of a sudden I want to try different teas, or things like that. So thank you guys for hanging in there with me. I hope you have an amazing rest of your week. This will be Sunday, so have an amazing week next week. And if you are looking for a free dog, I'm just kidding. Poor little thing. She's getting sleepy now. Take care, you guys. Don't forget to hit like down below, and also give me a thumbs up. I guess there's no like. There's a list down there of the things I talked about, and also, if you would be so kind, I am putting a book that I have on pre-order for November. I didn't think, and when we were doing the group project for the Angel Creek Christmas Brides, I got a week in November, and I thought, okay, fine, that gives me time to get the book done and everything. Well, it's releasing on an election week here in America. That is not going to be a good time for our country. The last thing I think people will be doing is buying books. So I'm putting a pre-order link for Pearl Angel Creek Brides, and it's a Christmas book, and it's going to be a cute story. And if you guys are so inclined, I would love it if you pre-ordered a copy. Talk to you guys soon, and that was not so subtle, I know.